Hey, Bella.
Hello.
So, who is Bella? That's a very good question.
I just want to find a place I can't say. God is the form to take. Going to go heaven, but it's optional. It's how you live.
Well, I love music. I'm a musician. I sing, play piano, guitar. I love any sort of form of creativity, anything I can get my hands on. I love it. It brings me so much life. I have traveled a lot. I've been to 19 countries, which is wild because I am 19. So that's another little bit about me. I love Jesus very much, and I'm very grateful that he loves me. He's my best friend. I wrote my first song when I was 9, released it when I was 11. So that's been around for a while. It was a Christmas song. I got to do it with my family, and it was really, really sweet. So that was a little exciting thing. A little bit about me.
So the one thing that I know people will find out or know about you is because of your dad. What's that being like, emerging as your own identity as an artist?
Well, my dad is Jeremy Camp. He is a Christian artist that's been around for 22 years, I think, quite a while, and still rocking it. So I think one thing that's helped for me is my dad has never let me feel like I was in his shadow. Both my parents have always encouraged me to just be myself and grow in who I am and do the things that I love. And so I think it's been pretty easy for the most part to, try step into being myself. Of course, there's a lot of pressure that comes from that because I have seen, top of the top. And so it feels like a lot to live up to. But I'm learning and growing to just do the things I love because I love it without any of that pressure, and just giving it to Jesus because it was a gift he gave me. So just doing it because I enjoy it and all that. So, still a work in progress, but here we are. The album that I just released last year was a lot of, all the songs were written from, about people, and even to myself, just walking through some situations with friends and other people really close to me, walking through that, because of course things aren't always easy. And so learning to keep my heart right in the midst of it, and leaning into Jesus in the midst of it, and learning to just have grace for people. So I've had to walk through a lot relationally, and even with how things with my dad at times. And I think through all of it, just having to learn to let go, which of course all of us know, to let go and trust the Lord, but to actually live that out is a whole nother story. And so it constantly requires constant surrender and constant trying, but yeah, and I do grab hold of things sometimes again, but just letting that go all the time, and just trusting that God really does know what's best and does love you and me so much, and wants what's best for us. I have led worship since I was 12 or 13. So I've always been surrounded by music, always loved it. I, for the most part, lead worship. So this is actually my second time performing my own songs live. So it was a little bit like, but it was fun. Went really well. I've been to UK a handful of times. We have some family and friends here, and I love it. This is my second time at Big Church, and I also love it so much. It's such a sweet way for people to just be unified in the things that they love, and that being Jesus and music and having fun. So it's been my experience so far.
What's a day-to-day life like for Bella?
Oh, that is a very good question. At the moment, I'm a barista, so I make coffee, and that's my full-time job. So I get to do that a lot and meet a lot of new people, which I love. I do write songs or play music any moment of my free time, but because of being raised with my dad being a musician, I've traveled my entire life. So pretty much most of my life has never actually been any sort of routine. I just get up and go and wake up in a new state every day, which has been such a joy and such an adventure. So day in the life for me really depends on the day, the month, the year. In this season, it's been a lot quieter because I have a job, so I can't travel as much, but still, very much working hard and doing things and designing things and music, all of it. Love it all.
You've had a newfound understanding of coffee. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I didn't really know much about coffee. I knew I loved it, But now at this point, learning how beans are roasted and learning how to pull shots within a certain amount of seconds. Because if you pull it too short, then it'll taste really bad. And if you pull too long, it'll also taste really bad. So you have this small window. And so I get to make sure that's right, and then steaming the milk right and pouring all the latte art. So it's fun. And then also just meeting customers that actually come in from all over the world, which is super cool. So yeah, being able to do that and hopefully make someone's day better is something I very much enjoy. Traveling so much, it is a bit difficult having a community that's lasted a while. And so I think I've learned that in this season is being really grateful for the friends I do have and not leaning on the fact for people to validate me or have a friendship that lasts 10 years, because that's something that's actually really rare and something to be really grateful for. So it's really fun being on the road and meeting lots of new people and meeting people old and young and all sorts of personalities. And so it is a bit hard at times to find long-term friends, but the ones that I do have been so sweet and so incredible, and might not see them every day, but to reconnect after a long time, you just pick up right where you left off. So just making sure to be very intentional with those friendships, especially with being in and out a lot. So it's been, during COVID, we had lots of time with friends, and that was incredible. But it's definitely been something to learn throughout my life. Oh, wow. That's a very good question. The song that means the most to me, probably one of the ones that is closest to my heart, is about someone. It's a really hard song. It's called Someone You Can Be. It's about someone very close to me and the pain that I had to walk through in that relationship. But in it all, I just really wanted to look at my own heart and even just realize that, yes, it's been difficult, but that I love them so deeply. And it's just about saying, knowing who they could be despite the fact of the reality of where we are right now. And so just walking through that and making sure I have a soft heart in the midst of it. So that one was a very raw, vulnerable song that I feel helped me walk through that situation, which is really how I write most of my songs anyway.
What's next for that?
Well, I'm always writing and always ready. I think conjuring up a few, haven't taken it to the studio yet, but just deciding whether or not I keep wanting to go the songwriter route or go more of a worship route or take more of a pop route, because obviously it's fun to do all the things. So that's we're kind of in a figuring out season at the moment. So just trusting the Lord to bring those opportunities and even bring the inspiration as it comes. So I have always loved, in Philippians, I believe, I think 1 verse 6, he who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it in the day of Christ Jesus. And that's one that always has just meant a lot to me, where it is just trusting in the Lord's faithfulness and trusting in his timing, in knowing that in everything he's started, every dream that he's placed in my heart, everything that I've walked through, that every one of those good things he will bring to completion and his timing and his ways, and for me to just trust his hand in everything. So that's definitely been a verse that I've just held on to in the midst of a lot of things. So yeah, always meant a lot to me for sure. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.